The friendships that you currently have right now, do you think you guys are friends because of proximity or because there's a genuine connection between the two of y'all? Or even both? Or y'all friends because y'all both ratchet and shit? Why does no one tell you that friendships or just relationships in general gets harder the older you get? Like in high school, friendships are easy. In school, period, friendships are easy because there's proximity, right? You know that every day you're going to go to school, you're going to see this friend. And then you guys might talk after school, or then you might have a sport event or whatever. But when you become an adult and you start adulting and living a life, then you may move away. It becomes way more difficult to stay in contact with friends, right? Because life is happening on both ends. Me personally, when it comes to this, if a friend comes to mind, I tend to check in. Because I think that's the universe telling me that I should reach out. And 9 times out of 10, when I do reach out, they needed me in that moment. So when I get that urge to, hey, you didn't call so-and-so in a while, dial them, I call them. It's no matter what's going on. If they come to mind, I call. And it's never, like, I never think like, wow, I called them the last 5 times, then I'm not going to call. No. But I do have a friend that we've had the discussion in terms of like, we got to check in on each other, right? And if I see that he hasn't checked in a while, something has to be off, right? Because we have that understanding. Another thing I do, I put friend calls on the calendar. Like, I know that on Sunday at 5 p.m., we have a calendar invite to have a conversation. Because I find that you have to be more intentional about these relationships, because if you're not, they kind of just get lost in the sauce, you know? And me personally, like, I'm working on accomplishing a couple goals, so I'm kind of focused on those goals. So like, if I'm not intentional or purposeful with these relationships, they're gonna just, I don't want to say they're gonna be insignificant, but they become second to what I'm working on. So if you take anything from what I'm saying, to nurture adult relationships, whether that's friendships, family relations, all that good stuff, it needs to be intentional and purposeful. I literally picked up and moved from New York, where I've spent my whole life, to Boston. And I realized, like, damn, I don't know nobody here. And all my friends are back in New York. Those relationships that I've built over 10, 15, 20 years. Now to maintain those relationships takes a lot more effort. That means driving back to New York some weekends. If you know me, you know I hate driving long distance. I don't mind 30-minute trip here, 30-minute trip there. But 4 hours? Golly, that is, well, technically it's 8 hours because we're going back and forth, but you have to be intentional about these relationships or you will in fact lose them. And when I say be intentional, it's not just on your end. It has to be on both parties, because it's both parties' responsibility to maintain this relationship if it's important to both of them. If you find that you're the one putting in all the efforts, it might not be a relationship worth keeping. Especially if you had a conversation with them and let them like, hey, what's going on? Like, I have things going on as well, you know? But if I'm making time to put into this relationship, I think it's only fair that you do the same. Reciprocity, you know? And also another thing to remember, relationships do change and evolve over time. The bros used to chop it up with about women, you might not be having those same conversations anymore. The conversations might evolve into, I'm about to have a baby, about to buy a house, you know? And that's also okay, because if a relationship doesn't evolve, is it really a relationship? Because if you're aging, if you're becoming wiser with time, why would the relationship stay stagnant? If you have a friendship that both of you guys are not growing with time, is it really a friendship worth keeping?